Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Eddie Martinez, and this is Top After Hours, a regional platform that highlights positive people, leaders, organizations, businesses, and upcoming events weekly. All righty, what's going on, guys? Again, my name is Eddie Martinez, and I'm really excited to be here with you this evening. I got a full plate per se of things I want to share with you today, and so I want to go ahead and get started. Again, this is Top After Hours, a platform where what I tend to do is share just positive things happening, positive people, events happening. In Bridgeport, Fairfield County, and in New Haven County, with the idea being that I want to be able to, with your help, I want to combat all the negativity and negative perspective that people have of our city and in our county as a whole, right? My belief is that there's more good people than bad people, and there's more good things happening than bad things happening. And what I want to do with this podcast is that I want to come out here weekly, and I want to share some of those things. And with your help, with you sharing these streams, and with you also reaching out to me and telling me about good things that are happening, together we could start to kind of change the way people view us, at least a little bit, right? Again, I think that there's a lot of more good things happening than bad things, and together we can change that. And so that's what we're doing here. We're gonna go ahead and get started with local good news. This segment of the podcast is just sharing, 2 to 3 pieces of good news happening in our city or in our county. Again, to just start to spread that positive, those positive vibes, right? There's a lot of good things happening, and I want to be able to share them here. And so tonight we're gonna get started over in New Haven, right? Again, there's good things happening in Fairfield County, New Haven County, and so I want to share those things. And usually I start over here in Bridgeport, but today I want to start over in New Haven and talk about some of the good things that are happening over there, because again, there's good things happening all over this part of Connecticut, and we want to share those things. Over in New Haven, Intergenerational Community Center in New Haven reopens after renovations. It seems that over in New Haven, there's the West Hills Intergenerational Center, the Shack, and it officially reopened after major renovations. This particular center is located in New Haven, and it connects teens and seniors through shared activities like gardening, storytelling, music, and tutoring. It serves over 750 people monthly, helping reduce isolation and build community among generations. And it's one of those rare projects that genuinely bridges age gaps and creates everyday human connection. Again, this is happening over in New Haven, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see that they're taking the time over in New Haven to renovate these buildings that are kind of sitting there and making good use out of them, right? And I believe there's a beautiful use in the community. I think something that can help us come together, right? Help the youth come together with folks that have been here a little longer than us, and also help folks find a reason to get out of the house and go do things in the community and go help others in the community, right? When I see these projects, it gets me excited for several reasons, right? First of all, it gets me excited because it's nice to see that we're using some of these buildings that are kind of sitting there, and we're renovating them and we're using them for a good cause, right? So that excites me. And it also excites me to see that we're taking care of the older generation, right? We're taking care of them, and we're getting them, we're getting them out of the house and doing things that helps them feel like they're useful, help them feel like they can actually still bring good and to the community, and help them feel valuable. And there's no better feeling than to feel like you're valued. And often, when you're getting to that age, when you're getting older, it's hard to feel like you're valuable, because it feels like those things that you were doing before, you're not doing it anymore, or the people who need you don't need you anymore. And so projects like this project really excite me, because it helps the older generation feel valuable. And I think that's beautiful. And again, it also helps the youth connect with the people that have kind of the experiences and the wisdom that they can share with them. So I think this project is a beautiful thing, and it's definitely good news over in New Haven. Moving right along, we're going to take it right back over here to Bridgeport, where the local hockey team heads to the playoffs. As you know, here in Bridgeport, we're the home of the Bridgeport Islanders hockey team, and they're in the playoffs, right? Now, as a lot of you know, this is going to be the last season that the Islanders are going to be here in Bridgeport. And although that's sad, I'm excited to share the stories that they're going to be going to the playoffs, because I think that this is going to give us, people in Bridgeport, people in Fairfield County, an opportunity to go see them and to go support them before they're officially gone, right? And so if you're here in Bridgeport, please consider attending, one of the upcoming games in the playoffs. The Bridgeport Islanders hockey team secured a playoff berth and home ice advantage with a late season win. And so with the win yesterday against the Wolfpack, they not only did they secure themselves a spot in the playoffs, but they have home. Well, I was gonna say home court advantage because I'm a basketball fan, but it's home ice advantage, right? Meaning that the majority of the games in that particular round are going to be played right here in Bridgeport. And so again, if you're in Bridgeport, if you're in the surrounding area, and perhaps you already support the team, then of course go continue to support them. But if maybe you never supported them, or maybe you did once or twice years ago and you haven't done it so in a while, I think there's a great opportunity for us to get some tickets, go over to the Total Mortgage Arena right in downtown Bridgeport, and support the Bridgeport Islanders on their playoff run, because again, it's gonna be the last time that we see them here, and it's exciting, right? The season could have been over. It could have been over yesterday, but it's not over. It continues, and I think that the best thing we can do as a thank you to all the years that they were here is to support the playoff run. So please make sure that you consider heading over to the Total Mortgage Arena, checking out the schedule. And figuring out what time works better for you, and getting some tickets to go in and see them. This is, as you know, their first postseason appearance since 2022, right? So this is the first time that they're in the playoffs since 2022, and so this is going to be the last time that we're going to be able to see them play at the arena. And so that in itself makes it especially meaningful. And of course, it's a nice moment of pride and excitement for local sports fans. So again, head over to totalmortgagearena.com and find out when their playoffs are going to be. They're coming up. The dates are not up yet. I looked before I come out here, but check it out and go definitely support the Bridgeport Islanders over at the Total Mortgage Arena. Moving right along. Community Clean and Connect event in Bridgeport. Yesterday afternoon, there was a community cleanup event happening here in Bridgeport, and I want to talk about it, right? This is not necessarily in the news yet. I haven't seen too much about it in the news, or maybe I missed it. But I wanted to talk about it because I saw it on my feed. I saw this event coming up, and I saw it on my feed, and I want to share about it because again, there's something great that's happening right here in the city, and it's being put together by people in the city, right? And so it's beautiful. The Build Bridgeport from Within hosted their second community cleanup event, and that happened yesterday in the east end of Bridgeport. Pretty much an event where they got together, volunteers got together, community organizers, and they helped to clean up some of the streets over in the east end of Bridgeport. Again, just a beautiful way to show that if we come together and we work together, we're able to help ourselves out, and we're able to help our communities, look better and feel better. Again, this took place yesterday in the east end of Bridgeport. They came together to enjoy each other's company, while creating pride, unity, and positive change in our neighborhoods. Yesterday afternoon, Build Bridgeport from Within's founder, Al, kindly shared a Facebook post, a volunteer posted, with pictures and videos from the cleanup with the caption, "Wow, the vibe was real today. Thank you everyone who participated, donated, and gave a helping hand. What a perfect day." It was definitely a positive turnout for this event yesterday, and it was exciting to see. It was exciting to see what Bridgeport, Build Bridgeport from Within was able to put together on their second community cleanup event. And it's nice to see just people coming together and helping each other out and bringing change to the community by way of helping to clean the streets. I think it's beautiful what their organization is doing, what Al is doing, and what all the volunteers are doing here in Bridgeport. And so I'm pretty sure they have more events coming up. So please, if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you follow Build Bridgeport from Within on social media and find out more about the events that they have coming up right here in Bridgeport. Also, you can follow Al, and perhaps following Al Ramirez will also help you learn more about the organization and about the things that are coming up and how you can help them. As somebody myself who have been involved with several different nonprofit organizations, I know how important it is for volunteers to come and help you, with your projects. And so if you're somebody who's maybe looking to do some work in the community, please make sure you reach out to Al Ramirez from Build Bridgeport from Within and see how you can help him. I'm sure he'll be excited to hear from you and to see how you can definitely help you. All right, guys. So moving right along, we're gonna go ahead and leave the local news. We're gonna get right into this segment called the Hidden Gem. And with this particular segment, what I try to do, on a weekly basis, is share with you a hidden gem here in Bridgeport, in Fairfield County, or in New Haven County. And by a hidden gem, what I mean is just, a place, maybe a small restaurant, a small shop of some sort, a coffee shop, maybe a bookstore, just a hidden gem within the community that I believe that you should go check out, right? It doesn't necessarily mean it's somewhere that you haven't heard about, but maybe somewhere that you've been to years ago, you haven't been to since then, or maybe somewhere that maybe the local people know about this particular place, but people who are not local don't know about it, right? And so what I hope is that, by me sharing about them here, you'll be able to see it. And if you're visiting Bridgeport, or maybe you live in Bridgeport, you haven't been to this particular spot, you're looking for a new spot that perhaps, serves whatever need you have, then you would consider the places that I'm going to be sharing here. And so for today's hidden gem, I want to talk about Leisha's Bakeria over in downtown Bridgeport. Leisha Bakeria is a bakery right in downtown Bridgeport, one that I've been to a few times, and one that I want to talk about tonight because, although I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure local people know about this particular place. I'm sure folks that are not local may not know about it, and so I want more people that have never been there before to consider coming to downtown Bridgeport and visiting Leisha's. And so just to share a little bit about Leisha for those who have never been there, this particular venue is more of it brings more of a homey feel rather than like a commercial bakery, right? And so when you think about a bakery, you think about a place that you kind of just you go in and you kind of buy and go, right? And it transactional. Not too much more to do in it than to go in there, look at the baked goods that they may have or sandwiches and whatnot, and buy whatever it is. Perhaps chat a little bit, but you're kind of like in and out, right? When it comes to Leisha's in downtown, it has more of a homey feel. It has more of a hey, stay here for a little while, right? Like you come in, and you have one of the tasty pastries or one of their homemade sandwiches, right? And you can actually hang out, right? For me, the few times that I've been there to meet with someone, right? So I've been there to meet with someone, and we'll order maybe some lunch, or maybe a coffee, and just kind of hang out and talk. And it has that vibe. It has that vibe that you're able to go in there, you're able to just kind of chill, relax a little bit, and either meet with someone, or maybe you bring a book. And maybe you read a book in there and just kind of hang out for a little while. So that in itself makes Leisha's special. Just the fact that it has that homey feel to it. You can come in and kind of hang out for a little while. Now Leisha's is they get a lot of praise for their hash brown waffles, cookies, and breakfast sandwiches. I could definitely vouch for the breakfast sandwiches because I've had them there, and they're definitely delicious. And aside from those three things, some of the standout menu items at Leisha's is their strawberry cake or other specialty cakes, their French toast casserole, and their coffee, especially their Bustelo style coffee and iced drinks. And so if some of those things are things that you like, please make sure they stop over at Leisha's in downtown Bridgeport and order one of these things, right? Order, hang out. Overall, their friendly service, the cozy atmosphere, and the homemade feel is what's gonna have you come back, right? So if you haven't been there already, just the feel that the way you're gonna feel when you go in there, how super welcoming she is and they are, and how good and homemade everything tastes. You're gonna end up going back. So just guarantee that if you go there, if you've never been there before, you're gonna go back. And if you've been there but you haven't been there in a little while, maybe it's time for you to go back and continue to support our local businesses here in downtown Bridgeport. Again, Leisha's Bakery over in downtown Bridgeport. Please make sure that you look them up on Facebook. and support, like them on there, and also go personally and hang out. If you're looking for somewhere to maybe catch up with a friend, do it there. Definitely will not regret it. Coming up on the following segment for tonight is upcoming events. So I have a few upcoming events that I want to share on here that for the most part are family-friendly events, positive events happening in Bridgeport and in the surrounding area. And again, with the good weather coming and more time with family coming, kids having particular vacations off of school and whatnot, you're looking for things to do. I want to share with you a couple of events that you might be able to participate in and get out of the house and do some stuff with your family. We're gonna start off with a Touch a Truck. There's a Touch a Truck event happening over at the Sacred Heart University Discovery Science Center and Planetarium on Saturday, April 25th at 10 in the morning. Touch a Truck, as you guys know or may not know, it's one of those events where you get to go and there'll be a fire truck there, police vehicle will be there, and other types of vehicles will be there, and the kids get to go and they get to see these vehicles that they've seen maybe in books or in programs on TV. They get to see them in person, or maybe they've seen them in person, but they haven't been able to get close enough to be able to touch them, maybe climb, maybe kind of like, do the things that kids do, kind of like, be curious and see what's going on, right? And so these Touch a Truck events are really good. It's a really good time and really educational for the young ones. If you've never been to one, this is probably a great chance for you to attend this Touch a Truck event happening over at the Sacred Heart University's Discovery Science Center and Planetarium. Join them over at the Sacred Heart University's Discovery Science Center and Planetarium for a fun-filled day exploring some of Bridgeport's favorite public service vehicles with interactive photo opportunities for the whole family. So, not only is it a matter of going and touching and having a good time, but you'll be able to take photos and create memories, which is the best part, right? If you have kids, you know that they grow up so quick, right? And having these pictures taken at these wonderful events just helps us as parents hold on to those memories. And it's definitely a beautiful thing. This particular event is free, right? So admission is free, but a $20 per family donation is suggested, right? So if you can donate $20 per family, it's definitely something that they would appreciate. And so if you're not doing anything on April 25th, Saturday, 10 in the morning, head over to Sacred Heart University's Discovery Science Center and Planetarium and check out the Touch a Truck event happening that morning. Moving right along, we talked about this a little while earlier. We talked about the local good news, which is the news that Bridgeport's minor league hockey team, they're in the playoffs. Right, and so they're in the playoffs. This is the last season that they're going to be in Bridgeport, as they're going to be moving out of the city. They're in the playoffs, and not only are they in the playoffs, but they have home ice advantage, meaning that a majority of the games played in the first round of the playoffs are going to be in Bridgeport. And so I don't have any dates for you yet because the dates haven't been announced. They just won their last game yesterday, which is what propelled them to be in the playoffs. And so they don't have the schedule for the games yet. But please keep a close eye on Total Mortgage Arena's website, where they'll be displaying those dates, and you'll be able to buy tickets there. And if you haven't been to one of the games yet, please make sure that you support them. As they fight to continue on in the playoffs here in the last season in Bridgeport. Again, if you haven't had a chance to support them, make sure that you give it an opportunity. Go with your family. This is another family event. You can go have a great time. Support the Bridgeport Islanders, and again, just have a really good time in downtown Bridgeport. And finally, the last event that I want to talk about, and this is not necessarily an event. This is more so, and something that I think that we have to think of, that we have to think about more, supporting and being a part of, right? And what I'm talking about is the city council meeting, right? The city council here in Bridgeport, they have meetings at City Hall. And these are meetings that should be attended by more people. These are meetings that we should be a part of. These are meetings that discuss things that have to do with our city, with our communities. And not enough people are going to these meetings. Not enough people are demonstrating that they care as much as they say, right? And I'm sharing that here only because I want to challenge some of you who are watching to please consider taking some time to attend some of these meetings and get more acquainted with the things that are happening in our city. So you don't have to say, I didn't know that was going to happen, or I wonder what's happening over there, or how come that's not here anymore, right? If you attend these meetings, you'll be able to not only know why things are happening or why things are not happening, or what's happening, but you'll be able to play a part in perhaps those things happening or not happening. So if something's coming to your neighborhood, or something could come to your neighborhood, you may be able to have a vote, or you may be able to have a say in whether or not those things happen, right? And allow those things happening at these meetings, right? And so you haven't done so already, please make sure that you consider attending some of these city council meetings happening at City Hall in downtown Bridgeport. These meetings are generally they're a public meeting where residents like yourself and myself, we can attend, we can participate in, and we can participate in local government discussions, including things like city planning and budget updates. Again, often, I'm guilty myself. Often we go on Facebook, or we go on TV, watch Channel 12, and they're talking about the things that are happening. And we're like, wait, why is that happening? Or who is that person? Or wait, I don't want that, And the truth is, we can become part of it. We can actually go and be part of the conversation from the inside as opposed to from the outside, right? And so if you haven't done so already, please consider doing that. If you're watching this and it's still Sunday, or if you're watching this and it's Monday morning, Monday, April 20th, if it's in the morning, please consider attending the meeting tomorrow, Monday, April 20th, at City Hall. Again, this is something, not necessarily an event like the other events I've been talking about, but something that happens here, almost like an ongoing event that happens here monthly, and we have to get more involved. Elections are happening all the time. And a lot of these elections, these elections is pretty much what starts the process of the possibility of bringing change, and bringing that change that maybe you want and you've yearned for years, right? It starts with us voting. It starts with us getting involved. That's the best way, because otherwise we're just talking. If we're sitting, among friends and family talking, then we're just talking. And so let's stop talking and let's get involved in these events that are happening, and let's get involved in these city council meetings and show the city that we care, so that we don't have to say, oh well, we don't have to say, oh well, I don't know what's going on, and we don't have to complain. We can actually say, oh no, I was there, I saw it, this was happening, and because of me, we were able to bring change. Again, change starts with us, and if we're not there, we can't be part of the change. And if we can't be part of the change because we willfully decided not to attend these meetings, then we, in all reality, we can't complain. You can't complain if you're not there. If you're not there to talk about it, you can't complain. And if you want change, you have to be that change that you want to see. If things have been the same for many, many, many years, and many, many, many more years, and you have an opportunity to have a say in that changing, then we have to start attending these meetings, and we have to start, really showing that we care, and showing it by being present, and showing it by opening our mouths and letting our opinions be heard, because we matter, and local politics matters. We talk a lot about the things that are happening on a larger scale, but the local stuff, that's super important too, guys. Super important. So please, let's do this. Let's attend some of these city council meetings at the City Hall. Before we end, we're gonna head over to the last segment of today's show, which is the community shout out. And for today's community shout out, I want to shout out a person I met recently, a person that's doing great work here in Bridgeport, a person who's super duper behind the scenes, literally behind the camera, literally. But a person who definitely wants to see change, and a person who's helping share the good things that are happening here in Bridgeport, doing a lot of what I'm doing, sharing the good things that are happening. And that person is Gnard Eaddy, right? If you don't know Gnard, you might not know him, but you might know some of his work, right? Gnard is he's the host of a podcast called The Portcast. That you can find that on You can find it on Facebook. You can also find it on YouTube. On YouTube, it'll be youtube.com/theportcast, one word. Or you could go on Facebook and look up the Portcast, and you'll know which one it is because the profile picture there, has Bridgeport there and whatnot. And so if you're from Bridgeport, you'll be able to tell. But Gnard Eaddy again is a wonderful young man. I met him. I think I met him maybe a couple of months ago. He came over to my studio in Milford. And we sat down for what was supposed to be, a few minutes. We ended up sitting up for a few hours and just discussed, the work that he's doing, the work that I'm doing, how we can help each other out, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful to sit down with somebody, who's like-minded, somebody who wants to see the change, somebody who's willing to work to share the good things that are happening. And so if you don't know about Gnard Eaddy, please make sure you follow him on Facebook, and please make sure that you follow the podcast on Facebook, and make sure that you subscribe to them over on YouTube. If you're on YouTube right now, head over there and make sure that you check them out. The Podcast is a locally produced podcast from Bridgeport that focuses on conversations, community culture, events, neighborhood stories, and city identity. Gnard has over 120 videos over in YouTube, and a majority of them are representing Bridgeport. A majority are representing the great people we have here, the events that we have here, and the culture that we have here in Bridgeport. He's definitely someone who is doing his part to share the great things that we have going on here in Bridgeport. And so if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you follow him on Facebook, and please make sure that you head over to YouTube and you subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to youtube.com/theportcast. That's youtube.com/theportcast. Catch up on all of his podcasts. Check out, for me, I love his particular interview style, which pretty much he's behind the camera, and all the focus is on the guest, right? All you see is the guest talking. He's asking the questions from behind the camera, and that's how he does his program. A lot different than my program, and it's super effective. I love it. I love to watch his podcast. And so if you haven't done so already, please make sure that if you're on YouTube, make sure that you support one of ours, that you support someone who is doing great work, someone who is doing great work and asking for nothing but a subscribe, right? Go over, subscribe, and that helps him, grow his channel, grow his following, and continue to do the work that he's doing. So if you're following me, follow him, follow Gnard, and check him out on Facebook as well. Guys, move right along. I want to go ahead and ask you again, if there's somebody who you want me to highlight, make sure that you reach out to me, send me a private message, send me a DM on Instagram, send me an email. Go to Eaddy at Tranzcendentoutlook.com. That's Eaddy at Tranzcendentoutlook.com. Send me an email. Let me know of someone who you want me to talk about here on the community Shoutout, and I'll definitely do so. Again, there's a lot of good people out there, and we have to do our part to make sure that we're highlighting them, because they deserve it. And this city deserves, this city and this county deserves to be highlighted for more of the good things and the great people that are here. And so together we can do that. Again, I can do everything that I can do here with this microphone and with these lights and with this camera. I can do everything that I can do, but I can do more with your help. And so if you help me, let me know who you want me to talk about. And if you continue to share this, and if you tell your friends, hey, share Eaddy's stuff and subscribe to him on YouTube, then we could get even a bigger, we can make an even bigger impact, and really start to work on changing the perspective of what our city is and what our county is, and what our community is all about. Together we can do that. So again, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Eaddy_Tranzcendent. That's youtube.com/Eaddy_Tranzcendent. Eaddy Tranzcendent. Please make sure that you do that. And again, I really, really, really appreciate it. And if you want to help a little further and you want to become a community partner, please email me at Eaddy@Tranzcendentoutlook.com, and I will share with you some tiers so that you can become a partner and you can help sponsor the work that I'm doing, not only here in this studio, but over at my studio in Milford, and the podcast that I'm going to be working to produce out of that studio. Again, send me an email to Eaddy@Tranzcendentoutlook.com, and I'll let you know how you can become a sponsor of Top Station, the Transcendent Outlook podcast, as well as Top After Hours, this particular program. Guys, thank you so much. I really do appreciate your support. I couldn't do this without you. And don't forget, be transcendent.